Welcome to 8.7, using quadratic formula to solve equations. This is your quadratic formula. I told you last film, some students have remembered it by the saying, negative boy couldn't decide whether to go to a radical party, b squared, without 4 awesome chicks because it all gets over at 2 a.m. You actually can solve the equations for your x value. So when you can't find a way to factor them, or when to complete the square, you can easily do this. Just make sure they're in standard form. This one is in standard form. Now the first part that I do is the discriminant. That's this part of the equation. But it really helps do that first. So I take my b value, I square it. I take 4 times a times c. This is 25 minus 24 times negative 4. Two negatives are going to make a positive, and we get 96 plus 25. That comes out to be radical 121, which is a perfect square, which equals 11. Now, we take that for the discriminant and we put it in the equation right here for this part. So I go and I write negative b plus or minus 11 over 2a. Now I plug in my negative b plus 11 over 2 times 6, and then I write it the other way too. This is only one way, it's with the plus. This is the negative, negative 5 minus 11 over 2 times 6. Negative 5 plus 11 would be 6 over 12, which equals 1/2. Negative 5 minus 11 is negative 16 over 12, which can reduce 4 will go into both, negative 4/3. So those are my two solutions. Seeing what they are, I'm really glad that I used the quadratic formula. Honestly, let's see, could have I used another one? Yeah, you could have factored. So that wouldn't have been bad either. But I think it's easier to use quadratic formula, honestly, just to get those fractions. Okay, next you'll get equations where they're not put in standard form. Your first step is to put them in standard. So we just brought the 4x, we subtracted it from this side and brought it to this side, and we end up with a negative 4x in our b value. Now we do the discriminant, square root b squared minus 4ac. Well, it really helps if you'll write the formula every time you use it. You'll get real used to it. B squared is negative 4, so negative 4 times negative 4 is 16. Minus 4 times 1 times 7. 16 minus 28. Negative 12, we can see right here that we have two imaginary, sorry, in your classroom wouldn't say imaginary, two, or actually wouldn't write two. We have no real solutions. And you guys can stop right there. Now when you get to my Algebra 2 class, you will go on. That is two imaginary solutions. That's why I was stumbling so much on it. Okay, again, if they're out of order, we need to bring all parts over here to get it in A, B, C standard form. Okay? Once it's in standard form, we go to our discriminant. B squared, 196, minus 4 times 5 times 9.8. Okay? This ends up being 196 minus 196. Okay? That ends up being radical 0. So we know that there's only one real solution. Now we just need to show what it is. Negative b plus or minus 0 over 2a. Our negative b is 14, so it's negative 14 over 2 times 5 is 10. We have a plus or minus 0, so that won't matter. This can reduce to negative 7/5. And that's just a real quick picture of how you can use the discriminant in the quadratic formula for finding answers. See you in class.